Hello, long time no see. Hey yo, what is up? How to study for a biology test. Here's what I do. See, I have two textbooks here which I use as a source of information. It is always better to have more than one source of information because we can find that other textbooks use more examples for you to understand the topic and others explain some terms in easy ways. So you always need to look for the best way to understand something. So here's what I do when I study. I read the information from the textbooks and then rewrite it down on a piece of paper. This is really helpful. So when I do that, I sometimes use my own words when I write the information down on a piece of paper, because if you write something with using your own words, you can understand it because you read it and then you write it on the piece of paper. And it is always important to make sure that you don't leave out keywords, because you lose marks if you study something that has less information than that is needed. And sometimes summarizing the information from the textbook is important, because some other textbooks can provide a lot of information that is not important, that is unnecessary for the test. You see, you will be studying something that is not required, that you're not going to write about in the test. Yeah, so after writing down all the information from the textbook on a piece of paper, then it will be easier for you to study using the paper, not the textbook, because it is heavy and textbooks sometimes can be heavy. So after writing it down, you can highlight some other important words so that we can increase the concentration into more valuable information. You know what I'm trying to say, man. So yeah, it is easy to study your terms and definitions, processes, especially in biology, using papers like this, because you'll be familiar with what you wrote because you did write it. It was you who wrote it, and you were reading the information from the textbook, and then you were keeping it in your mind before writing it down on a paper. Yes, that means you have learned it before, like you had that information stored in your head before you can use this to study. Yeah, and the best way up, what am I trying to say? The most advantage. What am I trying to say? Come on. The most important things about using this method is that you can give it to someone, maybe your mom, your roommate, your friend, your uncle, whoever, and then they can ask you questions about this, and then you can answer, so that they can tell you whether you're right or wrong. See, it is always important to study like this. So, what's the solution? What's the conclusion? You need to copy me. Use my study table. Use my study method. Why? You're gonna ace those tests, man. I'm telling you. I have a message. In order for you to remember all the things that you've studied, you need to study before going to sleep. Why? Because when you study, all the information that you keep in your head, it is stored in a short-term memory. But when you go back to sleep, when you go to bed and sleep, all of that information is transferred from the short-term memory section. I don't know what that part of the brain is called. It is transferred from the short-term memory into long-term memory. So when you wake up the other day, you will remember everything. So study before going to bed. That's the end of the video. I suck.